Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I thought it would be about time that I give you a houseplant tour. This is fall 2018 and I'm just going to show you all of the plants that I currently have in my collection, and I'll briefly talk about each plant, give you some general care tips if I feel like it's necessary, and feel free to leave any comments down below as well if you want additional information. Alright, so if you're interested in watching my tour, we're going to get on into it and I hope you enjoy. So to start, this is my Christmas cactus. It's my one of, I think, about 5. I love how the blooms are like a salmon coral color. I have him over here, kind of off to the side, because I had thrip on my other Christmas cacti. So I generally would recommend to put him in a separate room if you have thrip on your plants, because these types of bugs are able to fly. But I didn't see any actual thrip on him, so I don't think he's infested. I'm just keeping him here just in case. But let's hope that he is clean and free of bugs. But this is a beautiful variety. I'm gonna put the name on the screen if you're interested in purchasing. I got him from Logi's, and the blooms, they're a little bit spent. They have been open for about 4 days, so they are closing up. So they do look a little bit sad and they're kind of withering away, but it's still beautiful. Over here we have my silver pothos in an unearthed wonder pot. Love her pottery, it'll be linked below. My friend actually gave me this cutting. The older leaf is the one that looks a little bit sad. I think it was receiving too much direct light, and this is the new leaf, which is really beautiful. And I can't wait till this grows long and trails down some kind of a table. And I'm just keeping him here so he gets the bright and direct light, and he seems fine. So this window is eastern, so all these plants are getting morning sun. So this guy is my Hoya red buttons, and I love how he's just trailing down the table. I'm hoping that he will bloom for me this year. The blooms are like a purple and red color, and I love how the leaves have the speckling and they're really glossy and shiny. It's a beautiful plant. It's very easy to care for. These are some cuttings that I rooted over the summer in my propagation box. So this one right here is Hoya carnosa crimson queen, and then we have another one right there. This is Hoya, I believe it's Hoya wightii variegata. If I'm not correct, I'll put the correct name on the screen. This is my Hoya obovata. It's also trailing down the table. The flowers on this are beautiful. They're kind of fuzzy and they're pink and yellow. I got this Hoya from Gardino Nursery. I actually have bought most of my Hoyas from that nursery. I'll have the links in the description. And then next to him, this is Hoya Royal Hawaiian Purple. And since it's winter, we're not seeing any new growth. But in the spring and summer, the growth is like a deep purple. And a lot of them get this gorgeous silver speckling on the leaves. And you can see that. You can see that speckling right there. It's absolutely beautiful. This plant grows like crazy. I'm not sure if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that this was way smaller when I first got it last spring. And now it's just a huge size. Okay, and then above here, this is Hoya David Cumming-Eye. And I love how the leaves are really narrow and petite. This has, in my opinion, some of the most beautiful Hoya blooms. I'll put a picture on the screen so you can see what I'm referring to. And he blooms really easily as long as he's getting enough light. And he really loves that morning sun. And the leaves are absolutely beautiful. I love this plant. It's one of my favorite Hoyas. And then next to him, this is Hoya neo-ebudica. And look at those leaves. It's so beautiful. It's already starting to touch the table. So this is gonna be just like a wall of plants, which I love. And I love how his leaves are kind of like a lime green color. Sorry if the lighting's not very good. The sun is like directly on them. And it really has beautiful veining on the leaves. And his blooms are like a peachy color. It's such a beautiful plant, and I've had no issues growing this guy inside with no additional humidity. But I'll let you know how he does this winter. Okay, so this shelf is getting no direct sunlight. It's just getting bright indirect light. So it's basically getting light from every angle, just nothing directly hitting the leaves. So to start, this is my philodendron Brasil, and look how long he's gotten. He's just gonna hit the floor at some point. Actually, he's gonna hit my wine bottles. So it's really easy to propagate as well. Let me just show you how you can propagate. These little things, you make your cut. You'd make your cut right here if you wanna propagate. And you put this end that has these little roots into the water, and they will grow roots from there. So just make sure you make your cut about here and then put that in the water, and you can propagate this and share it with your friends and family. These are my pilea peperomioides. People always ask me to update them on the situation where the leaves get cupped so they're not completely flat. And honestly, I have still not figured out the reason for that, but honestly, I don't think it's affecting the health of the plant. They still look really cute and whimsical, so honestly, it just gives them more personality. I don't really care that they're cupped at this point. They still look fine and they're growing great. So that's just the way they are. And yeah, they seem to really like this location. All right, so we're moving on to the southern window. So hanging in my macrame, this is Hoya mathilde. And the leaves are really cute. They're like little circles. And he seems to really like this location. I'm not sure how he's gonna do in the spring and summer. I don't know if the sun is gonna be too intense, but I think during the winter he'll do fine receiving southern light. And this macrame was actually created by a girl who lives in Sweden, I believe, and I'll leave her information below as well. It's really beautiful. And then sitting close to the window, I have Hoya pottsii chiang. And I heard about this Hoya through Doug from Vermont Hoyas. He's like the Hoya king on YouTube. This is just a regular Hoya carnosa, just the original one. And I purchased this just to see if it grew faster since it has no variegation. I heard they grow like crazy. This is my ammak euphorbia. I don't really have any updates on this guy besides the fact that he does not grow at all. I'm not sure if he's not receiving the correct amount of light. This is a southern window, so he's getting as much light as I can provide at this time. I did put my other ammak euphorbia outside during the winter, and it grew maybe about 4 or 5 inches, and this guy didn't grow at all, so I'm hoping he survives. I just haven't seen any growth at the moment. This is my epiphyllum strawberry splash, and he's on this little stand. I had him in a northern window before, and he wasn't receiving enough light, so I'm hoping he'll bloom for me at some point, and I know he'll need the correct amount of light to bloom. So if you guys have any tips actually on epiphyllum, I heard in the winter you're not really supposed to water them, if at all. So just let me know if you guys give your epiphyllums water. I know some people will say add just like a little bit of water to the top of the soil so that the roots don't completely die. But let me know what you do, because I don't want to kill this. And I've kept him alive for about 5 months and he's doing fine. And there's actually new growth. That's new growth right there. So I know he's doing well, but I don't want to kill him this winter. So let me know in the comments down below if you have any tips for me. So we moved along to the kitchen area. This is one of my propagations of my Monstera, and he's growing really well. Those 2 leaves are brand new, and I'm really happy that they do have slits in the leaves. Both of these plants are not receiving any direct light. This is honestly just a temporary location because I don't think they're gonna really thrive in this spot. This is another Hoya obscura, but it honestly looks totally different than the one I just showed you that's in the eastern window. So I think it might be a different type, not obovata, or I'm sorry, not obscura. This is a peperomia watermelon. I have a few of these. So this is my rattlesnake calathea. I think there is another name for it, so let me know in the comments if you know the other name. And I honestly thought this guy had spider mite. That's why he's off to the side, kind of by himself. But I thought I saw spider mite under the leaves, and I think it might have just been minerals because I cleaned them off and I haven't seen anything since then. But anyway, you can see the underside is really beautiful as well. It's kind of like a maroon color. And I keep his soil relatively moist. I let it dry out, but right when it's dry, I will water it completely. And he seems to be doing well in this location. He kind of sits right there by my teapot, and he looks so cute. So I have my begonia wightii, And he has the beautiful silver spots on his leaves, and I love him contrasted with the pink pot. This is another Hoya. It's a Hoya carnosa crimson princess. And the way to tell the difference between the princess and the queen is the princess has the variegation in the center of the leaf with the green on the outside. So the variegation is typically like a creamy white or pink. And then the queen has variegation on the border of the leaf. Both of these plants had mealybug, so that's why he's kind of quarantined. He's away from most plants besides like those guys. So I've been treating him and just kind of removing individual mealybugs if I find them. So I'm hoping he can be bug-free soon. And then I have some pilea peperomioides cuttings, and to put it in perspective, that's how tiny it is. It's wicked cute. So now we're moving on to my dog's bedroom. My dogs have their own room. I know it's kind of funny. But anyway, just to let you know, this is a western window, that's northern. This shelf is usually pushed up right up next to the window, but I moved it out just to show the plants easier. So let's go on over here and I'll show you what we got going on. To start, this is Hoya pink silver. And I just love the speckles on the leaves, and they're just so glossy and shiny. It's really beautiful. And if you're wondering, all of these hoops that I'm using, the bamboo hoops, I got from Amazon, and I'll link them down below if you're interested in purchasing bamboo hoops. And then next to him, this is Hoya pot of gold, and it's the Hoya macrophilia pot of gold. It's different from the original because the variegation is just in the center as opposed to having the variegation on the border of the leaf. This is aloe green ice, and I just love the speckles on the leaves. It's really beautiful. And I got this little pot from a craft show. This is my Hoya carrii, and it's interesting, I've mentioned it before, but the older leaves were solid green. And then when the new leaf grew, it has the speckled, and it's called splash. So I'm wondering if all the new growth will also be speckled. And you can see right there is some new growth that's forming. There's about 2 new leaves that are about to grow. And then back here, this is Hoya patella pink. And you can see, this is a good shot, you can see that the leaves have this peach fuzz on them. They're like velvety. When this guy goes into bloom, it has these beautiful pink flowers, and they grow different than other Hoyas because they grow individual flowers. Most Hoyas have like a little bouquet that they grow. It's called an umbel, I believe. So this guy's really unique. And then up here, this is Hoya fungi. It also has like a velvety texture to the leaves. It's really, really cute, and they're really round and just beautiful. My other Hoya carrii, this guy was supposed to be variegated, but at the moment he's solid. I'm not sure if the variegation will happen eventually, but he's still beautiful. This is my Hoya super Eskimo, and I also love like the silver on the leaves, the silver speckles. And I've noticed a lot of the new growth has less silver. I'm not sure if it's because I get less light compared to the nursery. I believe this nursery is in Florida, where it originated from. There's another watermelon peperomia that has variegation. And then in the back, this is Hoya obovata variegata on his little bamboo trellis. And it's interesting, some of the leaves have grown in like a heart shape. So I'm not sure if he's trying to become carrii. Let me know if your obovata also does that with the leaves, where it gets kind of like a heart shape at the top. And I'll just give you a little overview of what we just saw, and all these guys are getting western light. All right, so we're gonna move on over to my desk, and this is a northern window. So this is my begonia conchifolia, probably butchering the name, and I love the little red dot that's in the center of the leaf. The leaves are like a velvety texture. If you can tell, I love leaves that are fuzzy. They're just so adorable. And he's really easy to care for. I let the soil dry out completely before I water him again. And the flowers on this guy are really cute. They're light pink, and they kind of grow in clusters. and it flowered like crazy for me last spring. This is my begonia, my special angel. I got all of these begonias from Logi's besides him. I got him from a local garden center. And the My Special Angel has really cute pink buds, pink flowers when he blooms. And they smell really good. It bloomed for me last winter, so I'll definitely update you if I get blooms this year. This is my wightii. And with this guy, what I did was I actually chopped him back completely. So I removed all the leaves and then I propagated the cuttings. And all of this is new growth. It grew within about 3 or 4 months. And it seems fine. So you can definitely propagate and prune back your begonias. Don't be afraid to do that because they are really resilient for the most part. And then this is my begonia that's cotton candy. It's a cotton candy variety. And the reason why I love this guy is because when it blooms like crazy, and it just has all these like whitish light pink blooms. So it's just so beautiful. And I'll definitely update you if he goes into bloom. And yeah, okay, so we're gonna move on to my living room. All right guys, so now we're in my living room. I'm gonna show you what's in this eastern facing window. So again, they're just getting morning sun. So this is the mother plant of my Hoya carnosa crimson queen. And I have her growing on this trellis. She looks absolutely gorgeous. And then again, we have an unearthed wonder pot. And as you can see, like I mentioned, the variegation is along the border of the leaf instead of in the center. So you can definitely tell the difference. So more of the green is in the center. Such a beautiful plant. I have another aloe green ice. I actually bought like a cluster of them. I think I had about 3 or 4 aloe green ice in one, so I just separated them. This is another watermelon peperomia, doing great in this eastern light. This is another Hoya, and if you're new to the channel, you don't know that I have an obsession with Hoyas. They grow really great in my house, and I love the flowers, so that is mostly what I collect, so just a warning. It's probably too late to warn you since I'm already into the video, but anyway, disclaimer, I mostly focus on Hoyas. Anyway, this is Hoya Sweet Scent. And when I originally purchased this plant, it was from Thailand, and unfortunately it came in the mail dead. I think it took about 10 days to get to me, and it was completely yellow. So I ordered this Hoya from a woman who lives in Florida, I believe, and it's doing great. I haven't seen any growth, but I mean, hasn't died, so in my opinion, it's doing great. And when it goes into flower, it has like a light pink bloom. This is my absolute pride and joy. This is my Hoya carrii variegata. It's doing awesome. I have it along this trellis. And the one thing I'll complain about is the fact that it grew about 4 new leaves and they did end up dying. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but all the older leaves are doing great. And we do have one. This is a new leaf right here. And he has stayed strong and he's alive, so let's hope he holds on for dear life because I really want this guy to grow huge, and it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I got this guy from Logi's. This is one of my most popular plants when I share my plant collection. This is my Monstera variegata. Let me just turn him so you can get a better look. There you go, so he is absolutely gorgeous. I've had no issues growing him. I've had him for about 1 year, and I think, how many new leaves do we have? I think there are 4 new leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 3 are all older. They were already on the plant when I purchased it. I got him from Logi's, and actually when I ordered him, I had never heard of Logi's before. I was just getting into collecting houseplants, like all different types besides like succulents. And when I ordered, I was like, I have no idea what Logi's is, but let's just see how this plant gets to me, if it's gonna be healthy. I have no idea. I didn't even know Logi's was kind of close to where I live, so I'd never been there. And when it came in the mail, it was in beautiful condition, and now it just is looking fabulous. And unfortunately, they still don't have these in stock. They grow very slowly, so it just takes a while for Logi's to propagate. I do have a care video on the variegated Monstera, and I'll link that up above and in the description if you're interested in learning how to care for this. and he's just receiving the morning light. And then above the Monstera, I have my Hindu rope. This is the variegated version. I also got this from Logi's. He's in an unearthed wonder pot, and it's looking amazing. It's really a slow grower, most likely because I am growing him inside with little humidity, if any, but he's doing really great. And I like how he hangs in the window. He's really pretty. And then in the middle, this is my Hoya macrophilia, just the original one. And you can see that the variegation is more towards the outside of the leaf. Sorry, it's a little hard to see with this lighting. But he's different than the pot of gold for that reason. And he just sits in this little hanging pot, looking adorable. Sorry about the lighting. But anyway, guys, those are all the plants that I have on my bottom floor. I think I'm gonna make a part 2 to this video. I just don't wanna make it super long, and I'm honestly getting really tired from talking. So if you have any questions, just leave them down below, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I like to post content. I try to every week, but at least a few times a month. I actually am working full time at the moment, which is awesome news. Congrats to myself. But anyway, it's just a little harder for me to film since I'm a little bit busier. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.